Hello and welcome to lesson 3, where hopefully we will get you playing your first notes and maybe even a chord. That'll be awesome. So in the last video I covered tuning the guitar. Hopefully your guitar is in tune or as close to in tune as possible. I don't even know if mine's perfectly in tune, but it'll do. I'm going to try to play two things today. The first is just a little sequence of notes on the E string. It's going to be easy enough. You can practice it slowly and, should get you a feel for playing sort of single notes. And then we're going to try and play a chord. And yeah, so we'll see how those two things go. So the first string is called the E string, as we talked about last time. You may have learnt the names of some of the other strings while you were tuning your guitar, but don't feel like you need to remember that right now. You can just, you'll commit it to memory over time. But for now, just remember that the thick string, which I'm going to call the first string, is called the E string. It's the low E. Which you might be like, why is it the low E? It's the highest string that I'm looking at. It's because it's the lowest pitch. It's the lowest note. So it's called the low E string. And what we're going to do is we're going to play a sequence of notes that goes like this. So just a little ascend and then descend, and it's as easy as that really. But before you can play that, you need to know how to play any note really and how to hold your pick. So the easiest way to hold your pick is to visualize it as a T shape, and by that I mean your index finger and your thumb make a T. You cross them there, and that's kind of the general how you hold a pick. So you could do that, and you could make a T, and you could slide your pick in there, and you could do that. I'm sure that it's not a very fast way of picking up a guitar pick, but over time you probably won't need to do that. Or you can just go for it, pick it up, and go, am I holding it right? It looks right to me, and then we'll play. But as long as the main thing is that it feels comfortable. I'm sure not every guitar player makes a T with their pick, but that seems to be how I do it, at least. And the little bit that's sticking out at the bottom, that's what we're going to use to pluck the strings. So now we'll start with the open string. So you don't actually need your left hand for this first part. So you're about to play your very first note on the guitar. It's very exciting. You're playing the E, the open E string. We call it the open string when you don't have any fingers on the fretboard. It's just open, and it rings out like this. Now, you don't need to pluck it very hard. You don't need to go like this, but as long as you can hear it, it's fine. The easiest way is just to sort of hold your pick just above the string and then just kind of just pull the pick through it. But being careful not to hit the neck string, because if you do that, it'll sound like this. So there's kind of an art to it that if you just play it a few times, you'll eventually get to a point where you can play just that one note without having to worry about hitting the other strings. Because as you pick downwards, your pick also comes away from the fretboard as well. So you kind of pick down and out like that. But don't think about it too much. Just get the feel for it. And now we will move on to the left hand. So now we're going to be doing something with our left hand and our right hand. So hopefully you're keeping up okay. It's not that hard, but you can always rewind the video if you don't get this next part right away. So we're playing the open string. You just did that. So that's our starting point, our root note. And then we're going to play not the first fret, which is the first space between the start of the fretboard and the first little metal bar. It's the second one of these. So see this space here? That's where you want to put your finger. You never want to put it on the metal bars, because that'll sound like this. It'll kind of sound a bit weird and you'll be going between two notes. It's the middle of the fret. So on the wood, in the middle of the fret, you don't have to press it down too hard, just until it makes that sound. So if you're not pushing hard enough, it'll sound like this. And if you're pushing too hard, it'll actually kind of warp the note a little bit. if you, it's kind of weird, and also you'll maybe hurt your finger. I don't know, probably not, but just push it down till it starts making that nice note. So, God, this video, I really should have put a stopwatch on, damn it, because this could be 10 minutes, I don't know. I have no concept of time when I'm making these videos, but the first two notes are the open string, also known as 0, fret 0, because, you know, it's open. Fret number 2, 2nd fret. And the next one, we've played this one with our first finger, and instead of just using the same finger and going like that, we're going to save ourselves some effort, and we are going to use our third finger, like this. So it might be a little bit of a stretch, or it might feel comfortable to you. Depends how big your hands are, depends, you know, finger dexterity, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So we're going to go from this one, and we're going to go 2 frets this up the way. Again, in the middle of the fret. So what we've got so far is and to finish it off with, and this might be tricky because when I remember whenever I was starting off guitar, trying to get your pinky to do things can be a little bit awkward. It's not a very strong finger to begin with. It's not as dexterous. It can be a little tricky. So if this is where you start to struggle, then that's good. It's fine. You know, it's natural. So and then from the fourth fret, we're not going to go up 2 again. We're only going to go up 1. So it's the one right beside the one you're on, and I want you to play it with your pinky, like this. So far we have 0, 2, 4, 5. And then once you're done with the 5th, I want you to go back to the 4th. So we're just doing the same thing in reverse, and then back to the 2, and then just let go. We're done. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you were able to follow that. And basically what you want to do now is just keep doing that. And I mean, it might not have sounded great. You know, there might be some notes where you kind of mess it up, or your finger is kind of like, you know, moving around. It's weird things might happen. It's tough when you're starting out. You might be hitting the other strings with your right hand, so you don't know which hand is going to have trouble doing what. So it's basically just figure out what your problem is, and then, you know, keep practicing it, and you will get it soon enough. It's a good little exercise to practice because it gets you kind of going up and down, ascending, descending, using a couple of different fingers. The reason I wanted to do one more you used your pinky finger and this finger is because they're kind of your 2 weakest fingers. Like your first 2 fingers, they're kind of actually stronger than the other 2, if that makes sense. Like your middle finger is pretty much your strongest finger. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. Hopefully this video didn't go on too long, and hopefully you will master that. So see you in the next video. Goodbye.